to play for your national team is obviously a great feeling, and to do that while playing through the Scottish leagues is probably a bit more difficult in terms of you're not playing at the level that some of these guys are playing at, and you really need to try and be at the top of your game as much as you can to get involved here and be a part of it. So that part of it I'm proud of, and as I said, every time you come here it's just a privilege to pull on that shirt. Scottish football is really unique, and it's really every club you go to is people that are in the club are for the club, and their heart belongs to their football club. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that makes it unique. The first team at Queen's Park at the time were giving a lot of opportunities to young players, and thankfully enough I managed to be one of the ones that stood out at that age. And I think I was 16 years old and I made my debut, and obviously it was third division football, which is a low level in the top league, but to get the opportunity just to play first team football and obviously get the chance to play games is obviously something that's been very beneficial for me throughout my career, and to get such good experience at such a young age kind of carries you well.
Were there any players in that sort of squad at that time who you kind of looked up to as role models?
Tony Quinn was a bit of a Queen's Park legend, and we had players like Jamie Longworth, Davy Anderson, Ricky Little right through the spine of the team, and these were all players that were experienced. Then also younger ones like Sean Burns and stuff, that they kind of knew what we were going through coming into the first team. So to have guys around you like that encouraged you and always encouraged you to do your best for the team, they didn't put too much pressure on us, and they wanted us to enjoy it as well as obviously winning games, but it was the bonus at the end of the day they were after. But no, listen, it was obviously a great experience to get to play with these guys.
Of course, you came through with Andy Robertson, who's a Scotland teammate, and also Blair Spittle, who's a Hearts teammate now. What are your kind of memories coming through with them, and how different is, looking back, life then to what it is now?
It's obviously mad when you get further down the line and you kind of get reunited with people. As you say, Blair joined Hearts this season, so it was good to see a familiar face again and in my changing room, and obviously at the international stage, the places I've managed to play alongside Andy's something that we could have only dreamed as kids, and obviously getting into that first team at Queen's Park together as well. So no, the whole experience here and the whole journey that everybody's went on is obviously good to see, and it's good to see people being successful.
As a young player, kind of going into different dressing rooms, how does that kind of affect you mentally?
It's obviously different going into different changing rooms, as you say. All experiences on loan aren't they always great. There's a lot of ups and downs, and I understand the situation when people come to us on loan, and you always try and make people feel welcome. So it can be difficult, but everywhere I went, I tried to do my best and tried to do the best for the club and the team that I was playing in. Sometimes that worked out, sometimes it didn't, but as I said, that's kind of all part of your journey as a professional. My first loan at Dunfermline was really good. Obviously I'd played first team with Queen's Park, and I went to Aberdeen for 6 months and I was playing the youth team. And then that's where they sent me to Dunfermline, and that was a good opportunity for me. They were a big club in League One at the time, I'm sure, and it kind of gave me the chance to go and play first team football again, and I really enjoyed that. They made me feel really at home. Did decent there, picked up an injury towards the end and went back, and then I went to St Mirren the following season, and eventually when I settled in there I did well for the first season, scored a decent amount of goals, and that was somewhere I was comfortable, hence why I went back the following season. But then again it didn't quite score the same, as I said. Sometimes I'm that successful one, and that was one of them. It was obviously a long time coming. It was September, I think, I ended up signing for there. Ian McCall had wanted me to go there, and I ended up going to Morton. I'd left him in a car park, to be honest. I was going to sign, and I changed my mind really late. So for a guy like that, who I'd kind of disappointed at that time, to give me another chance is something that I've obviously been very vocal about how grateful I am to him, to give me that opportunity. And I was ready for it when I went there. I'd kept myself fit over the summer, and I just wanted to play football again, and I knew that if a chance came along I was going to do my best to take it. Was
that really just the turning point in your career?
I'll say rock bottom, but that's when I kind of found myself when I was out of contract, and I couldn't really get a game anywhere. That's how it felt anyway. Just felt as if nobody wanted to take me and give me that chance, which is a wee bit of a wake-up call as well, that you've put yourself in a situation that you really didn't want to be in, probably 6 years into your career for your debut at Queen's Park. So it was obviously difficult times, but as I said, I was just grateful to get the opportunity to play football full time again. And
getting promoted into the Championship, that 2018-19 season, you were the top scorer in the Championship, and of course scored that way at Dundee United in that 5-0 win. Can you just talk us through that night? It just seemed as if everything went right for Ayr that night.
United were obviously the standout club in the division at that time, massive club, and I remember getting to the changing room after it, and a lot of the boys were just laughing, thinking, how have we done that? But that was a level of team that we were capable of that. We had really good players throughout, and there was a lot of modest players in our team because of where they'd been. they'd been released and then they found themselves at Ayr and the gaffer was giving us a chance to go and play and to go up there. It was a really big scalp for us, and I think it's still a result when I bump into Ayr fans. It was one that they really enjoyed, the ones who made the journey anyway.
Going from putting 4 goals past Dundee United, you ended up going to move to Dundee United. What were the kind of big factors that influenced you to make the move to MATCHDAYS?
A lot of people kind of ask questions why I stayed in the Championship, and at that time, and people are probably looking at me to go to the Premier League because I finished top goal scorer the season before, but I just felt it was a good fit for me. I felt United were going to be a team that year that would a push for promotion, and to go and be a part of that and go and show that I can do it again at that level and try and score the same amount of goals that I did. I just felt it was a really good opportunity, and it was probably the best opportunity I had, so I was keen to go there. I wasn't too bothered about the division. I'd found myself in a division lower one season before, so it was more about a club that suited me. I spoke to the manager and I kind of liked his ideas and what he had for me, and I managed to go there and be really successful. So.
You know, your goal scoring form at Dundee United whilst in the Championship, that led to your first Scotland call up in October 2019, becoming the first second tier player to do so since John McGinn was called up when he was at Hibs. How good was that, validation for your abilities as a player to, just get that taste of the big time, and obviously what was further to come down the line?
It's probably pretty bizarre at the time. There was a lot of talk at the time, but I probably didn't think it was going to happen. But to get that opportunity to go and join in with the national team was obviously brilliant. I went there with full intentions of going and enjoying it, being a part of it and getting a taste of the big time, as you said, and I ended up actually playing a good bit of football when I was there as well, so it kind of showed that I was doing well, and no matter what level I was playing at, to get that opportunity, it was a really good one.
Made the step up to the Premiership with Dundee United eventually. How did you feel that you adapted to playing in the top league?
I think there was a fair bit of pressure on us as a club and as a team, and we didn't have the best of seasons, to be honest. We were a team that probably had struggles in our first year playing at that level again, but overall we managed to secure the team in the league, and that was the most important thing. When United planned to go up, they planned to stay there. Obviously they found themselves back down a year later, but at that point it was just about getting the club back into the top league and trying to maintain that.
One really memorable moment in terms of a goal, the one from behind the halfway line against St Johnstone. Can you talk us through what was happening there?
I had a wee bit of on-pitch bust-up with one of my players, and I think he was having a go for my lack of involvement, but I just thought to myself at that point, I've hardly had a touch of the ball, and I just said to myself, next time I get the ball I'm shooting, and I probably didn't think twice about it where I was in the pitch, but I must have had a glance to see where the keeper was, who funnily enough ended up being Xander Clark, who I'm really good mates with, and I do like to remind him of it, but one of those things in the game that I've had a pop, and thankfully enough it went in.
Of course, you eventually made the move over to Belgium with Beerschot. What did you take from that experience, playing over in a different league, different language, different culture?
It was just good to go and experience, be around different people, different cultures, and see how they do things. Albeit the football side of it never quite worked out in terms of the team, ended up getting relegated, but just to go over there and see how other people work, as I said, obviously you're dealing with different types of personalities, as the culture in Europe is very different. But overall, the whole experience I really enjoyed, living in a new city and stuff, and obviously it's good that people are now looking to take Scottish players abroad, as it was something that didn't really happen too often, and obviously they're seeing the level of player that we have got at our disposal, and they're getting chances to go there, and a lot of them are being successful, so it's a good sign for us, and hopefully that can continue and more people can get the opportunity to be abroad and be successful.
Being at one big club at Dundee United to another really big club in the form of Hearts, how did it feel just having that, that feeling that that you're going in to be the main man, the main goal scorer?
Hearts is obviously, it's definitely a step up to the levels of pressure and stuff that was at United at the time, and it's probably a club you don't realise the size of until you're in it. It's probably that level of pressure that you kind of need to relish, and to be successful there it does take quite a lot.
You had 28 goals in your first season for Hearts, and over 30 in your second season, breaking goal records held by John Robertson. Was that just a dream period in your career?
To put your name up there with the guys like that for a club at the Hearts stature is obviously something to be proud of in terms of personal achievements. As a striker, you want to score goals, and if you're looked upon to be one of the best goal scorers I've had in a long time, then that is a good thing for me, and hopefully again I can go and repeat that this season.